the general story with this lady is she's been on numerous of these like red pill podcast platforms like the Whatever podcast and Fresh and Fit and all these types of things. And she basically came on, and some of the biggest things she was talking about, like she's a ridiculous amount of energy, like too much energy. The type of energy which makes her very successful on OF. But if you were trying to actually live with this person, I feel like it would be it'd be too much. Like you would need to go into a secluded room. Every time I've seen clips of her, she's just like, "Oh,
I
I'm
mean, the
like,
thing
lady,
is-
relax."
I was on another podcast, and this clip went viral of me saying that I love cheating. It's actually my biggest fantasy. So, yeah.
I can't even keep up. Okay.
I know.
Your
Listen,
biggest
I told you I was a
fantasy-
7. If you want to rate that higher, you go right ahead.
Wait, your biggest fantasy is
Cheating. Not
you
even my
cheating.
biggest. It's like one of my fantasies. I'm a little up. So,
Well,
listen. Yes.
explain the
Why
cheating
not
thing.
polyamory?
Explain that word.
Polygamy?
Wait, so
Can I buy a vowel? Okay, so listen, cheating, it's not that difficult. You're with someone or they're with someone. I don't even have to be with someone, but if you're with someone and you have a girl, I'm going to sit on your and be like, isn't my tighter? Isn't it better? Isn't that just hot?
Oh, you want the competition.
No. I'm a competition in
Yeah.
myself. Like, I just have to, it's not even that I have to win.
Wait, you
it's
want
like,
hold on. You want to cheat on the guy or you want the guy to cheat on you?
Either. It's so
she
hot
wants a
either
girl
way.
in the
like,
picture so he can say who he prefers.
Not
'cause
even. I've been in relationships and I'm like cheating with someone else and I'm like, this is so hot.
And then all of a sudden she comes out and says she's only been with 3 people in the last few years, and now she's gotten rebaptized, and now she's a good Christian girl.
She
And
says
it's just,
she
but
has-
she's also still profiting off of her OF for doing this.
I mean,
So it's like, are you like, how big of a hypocrite are you? Are you actually somebody? Because apparently she grew up as a pastor's kid, and
I
know
think
that
the
those
react-
kids go astray, I suppose, every once in a while. And
I think that she woke up one day many years ago and sat down and meditated on it and thought to herself, you know how I can make the most money the fastest? By doing the OnlyFans thing. And by being
that's what all
you know
these
what I mean? That's what
girls
and
do when
then you know what
they want to
happened?
make a quick
And
buck
then you know
by
what
selling
happened?
their bodies.
She woke up later and said, you know how I can make the most money now? By pretending
By
to be
marrying a
sexual abuse."
rich guy.
Did she do that?
I don't think
No,
she
but
actually
she's got a
did do that.
boyfriend who's
Yeah.
Okay, well, she's well on her way.
converting to Christianity because of her boyfriend.
She's smart. Like
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people are like, oh, these OnlyFans girls are so dumb and stupid. They can't do anything else. No, I actually think a lot of the really successful ones are actually probably extremely sharp.
Absolutely.
And could do
No,
many other
the
things.
Pierce
Absolutely.
Morgan had one of the top OF girls. She's English on,
Oh, I saw that.
and she was like gonna get a law degree from Oxford
I'm
or
sure she's
something.
super sharp.
And he was like, "Why would you do this?" And all the arguments that men say to women who do this platform and everything. And her thing was like, he's like, Pierce Morgan was basically telling her, your kid is eventually going to see you, and what are they going to think of you? And her response is something to the effect of, "Yeah, but he'll be driving around in a Ferrari." And
Yeah.
Pierce Morgan
And she's totally
Pierce
right.
Morgan looks at her and he's like, he really didn't have a good comeback for that. He's like,
Yeah.
"I guess if that's what matters to you, then yes." And Pierce Morgan's like, "I also have some Ferraris. Would you like to see one?"
Nala Ray is looking out for Nala Ray as well. She should.
Of course,
Like,
it's
I don't
we're all our own LLC. I'm Justin LLC, or Discount Jamie
I just got
LLC,
Jamie LLC.
got Joe LLC, and she's Nala Ray LLC. You gotta do what's best for you.
Yeah.
You're your own brand business, all that mumbo jumbo that somebody on TikTok will tell you to try and sell you some bad stocks or something. But nevertheless, there is some truth to it, and I think a lot of the I've been wanting to talk about like the whole red pill community and these types of folks and all this type of stuff, because they all, first of all, they only bring on these types of girls for the most part.
Yeah.
Like they hardly ever bring on what I would call, let's call them regular women.
Yeah, they want
Okay.
people that are gonna be entertaining.
Yeah, they pick all the thoughts and the OF girls
Yeah.
and stuff like this, and then their audience is primarily men, and it's either men who could never get with these types of women and are paying for these OFs but want to complain about them. So it's a completely interestingly hypocritical endeavor just in itself. there are some good things that there are some good messages for men in that community. I would say if you pay attention to it and you don't really know anything about women or you want to learn stuff, you definitely can learn some things by watching those types of videos and stuff. But on the whole, the other thing is like it's so repetitive. Also, like we're talking about this person only because of all of a sudden she became went back to her roots of being a Christian. She's now a good Christian girl, and she never really did anything on OF really. But then if you go and look at I haven't done this. I've listened to some other people in this community talk about it because it's just interesting. But there's a lot of video evidence to say that that's not necessarily the case, what she's saying. So it's all just about the hypocriticalness of, and is it
Well,
worthwhile to
Jesus
use that?
forgives all,
That's correct, Joe.
and he particularly mentioned the women of the night.
He sure did.
There's quite a bit of that in the Bible.
There certainly
There is
is.
certainly evidence that Jesus forgives them and welcomes them into his kingdom.
He sure does. I mean, you got to get laid somehow in heaven, so you gotta
You know
gotta bring
what's
'em in.
you know what I think is really interesting about the OnlyFans trend,
Oh Lord.
and this is something that I wait for and pray for daily. So think of how much data the OnlyFans Corporation has on like what men like.
Mhm.
They have more
Yeah.
data,
Oh my
perhaps,
gosh.
than almost anybody
Yes.
else in the world.
I hadn't thought about this, but that is a great point.
Yeah, they do.
They have so much
So much data.
data
They could
about
start they could create their own porn studio because they have
Corn.
all of this data. They know exactly
corn.
the porn studio where they find
Yeah, just re-say
the
what you just
perfect-
said. But what-
OnlyFans has more data on what men like than anywhere else on the planet. I would argue more than Pornhub or equivalent websites, because they see a lot more interaction. People have accounts; they can track them. Right, more tracking. Not that you can't make accounts. These other places, but like whatever. You know what I mean? They could take this data to create the ultimate porn star. The ultimate porn star.
Well, they're already doing that with
This sounds
AI.
like a
No, they're not though. They're just letting other people come in and use their platform. They
Hmm.
should be making their own OnlyFans girls or
this,
whatever.
this sounds like a
right?
brilliant plot to a superhero, a comic story.
This is exactly
Sugar and
no,
spice
this
and
is
everything
what,
nice.
This is what Netflix.
This
This
would
is
make
what Netflix
such
does.
this
Netflix
would make such a
crunches all their
great
data.
supervillain.
Netflix crunches all their data, and they give it to 1 million data scientists, and they go through it, and they go to the board, and they say,
Oh
you know
my
what the
God.
American people want to see? American people want to see, little kids doing retro 80s stuff with like some sci-fi things and like some bald little girl.
Right.
And then we get Stranger Things. Then they go crunch the
Right.
data some more. And they say, you know what America really wants? They want to see Kevin Spacey be president with like a cool Southern accent. Then we get House of Cards.
And then they want to
And-
have a scandal of him potentially
Yeah,
being
well, they didn't plan for that.
And
right?
and they also
It's never in the plans.
and they also talk to other companies such as Formula One, and Formula One is like, and they're like, we have a big audience, and Formula One is like, we want a big audience. We will pay you to make a show for you.
Yes.
Yeah, but like
exactly,
that's not
exactly.
even that's kind of a separate.
I know
thing,
it's
right?
a separate thing.
That's
yeah, I
everything.
know, I
We're
know.
just
Yeah.
talking about what they do with all their data. I want to see OnlyFans do that.
I'm
I
sure
wanna-
they do.
I-
Which,
I
by the
don't- I
way,
actually don't think they do.
cannot disclose too much information, but I will say that the OF, I had a very funny moment where when I'm not doing this.
You on OnlyFans? That's your side hustle.
No. There's just a funny moment where some leadership was talking about how OF is now using solutions from a certain company, blah blah blah, and it was just a funny moment, an interlude.
That's cool.
It was just because he said it, he was just like, oh yeah, so yeah, there's well, we're working with this company called OnlyFans, and they're up and coming site. I just sit there, and I'm like, just dying. Like all the dudes we're all just cracking up. We're like, oh yeah,
So fun.
like you don't know what that is, good sir. We all know what it is.
Remember when
So
there
I
was a
don't-
brief period of time they were talking about banning porn from their platform?
Oh yeah,
That's
that
pretty
that
fun.
that happened.
That
was a-
happened.
that was
that happened.
God. That's almost worse than like Sam Bankman-Fried business decisions.
Well, it was something
Which are pretty terrible.
That was a pretty terrible business decision.
It was a pretty bad business decision. He made a lot of bad decisions,
He-
like
he
having a
un-
group chat of.
He did
He
make a lot of
undid
sense.
it. He undid the decision. But I want to come back to I don't think that data would actually don't think that data would be helpful
Really?
for creating an ultimate superstar of the kind you're talking about.
Why not?
Because I think that what you'd find is that people are far more diversified.
Oh, well, so
And-
they would do. This is why it's identical to Netflix. Netflix doesn't say what does literally everyone in the U.S. want and then make one show. They say, okay, we have the capacity to make X shows. How can we make this many shows to make as many people in the U.S. happy?
But I
It's the same thing with
think that
OnlyFans.
already exists, and like yes, the data could be helpful, but I think it would be more like they could sell the data maybe to people. But I think that people who are successful in this industry are already aware of the people who are successful are already aware of what men want and particularly what their niche is and
Yeah, I
how to
think
target that.
The best certainly, I'm sure, know their niche, but there's no way they know it as well as the OnlyFans Corporation has literally all of their data and all of everybody else's data.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about like AI editing their
No, we're not even talking
something,
about that.
I don't know. I don't know how they would
I mean, they would find
innovate.
women with the right features and proportions
Yeah,
based off what
and
their
they-
data
You're saying
and
they
they
would?
hi-
You're
try
saying
hard.
they would?
then they would have
they would
them do
recruit?
what the data says that they should do.
Yeah.
There's no AI.
Data suggests that we like big-breasted
The-
blonde women
it's gonna s-
fornicating
it-
with donkeys,
Eh,
and they go
might
find
say
some
no,
women,
it's-
and how much would it cost for you to fornicate with a donkey?
it's
And
all very
like,
aware that incest is like the most popular thing.
what?
That's
I
pretty.
I don't know if that's accurate.
It's
but
definitely accurate.
I don't think that's.
I don't think it's
accurate.
actually
You.
accurate.
Hold on,
So,
let's clarify.
I
Your
am not turned on
stepmom
by it
does
at
not
all.
count as
Yeah, that doesn't
incest.
Oh,
That
it's
doesn't count. dude.
stepmom,
It's all-
Stepmoms
whatever,
don't
doesn't
count
count.
as
It doesn't?
incest. No,
It's-
it doesn't count.
100% doesn't.
well, what does that
It's
count
not
as?
your
It's
right-
all
it's not your
the
family.
step
I think
family. Step family is like the
The
most popular
step-family
thing.
is
I
definitely
think
by
the whole
far.
thing is like they want to create situations that people find like relatable in some way, shape, or form. Oh, like
No, I-
my dad's new girlfriend has the hottest daughter. You know,
right
Yeah.
stuff like that. Wow, my stepmom is
The-
so hot.
The step
Yeah.
family thing
Can't
was
believe
a
my dad's with her.
that was
Also-
something that was determined by Pornhub searches.
it might have been.
That I'm telling you
Yeah.
it was. I know that for a fact. People
Well-
looked at that data,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and all the creators are now very aware of that, and that's why you see so much of it.
So-
which is really annoying because I
Okay, I
try
have a-
really hard to ignore those.
I have I have
titles.
a theory on this. My theory on this, and I think this is true for a number of other like scenarios, is that like when a stepsister whatever thing comes up, the people that are really into it are like nice stepsister corn. The people that like aren't really into it are like
we can ignore it.
okay, whatever, I'm gonna ignore it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's not ever like that negative of a thing.
Mm.
And I think there's a lot of other corn features that are like in that vein.
The
But are
stuff
any
that
of them
excites
good Christian girls?
Probably,
They're-
probably.
Of course.